with laughter and cheer. Toys collecting and tales from the past. Tune in now, the good times will last. We dive in the movies that make us dream, with memories like a childhood theme. TV shows that caught our eyes, let's collect the moments and rise. Like, share, subscribe, don't miss out. It's Geek Week, the podcast of the year. Join the fun with laughter and cheer. Toys collecting and tales from the past. Tune in now, the good times will last. Like, share, subscribe, don't miss out.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Look, my camera followed me and everything. We good?
I think so.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. You're just in a solid white room. It's very weird.
I know. I'm in my new room. But like nothing is with me yet. So I've got like a main light and I haven't got any of my lights, hence why I'm a bit shadowy and stuff. But yeah, I'm here.
Wow.
I'm here. So yeah, so all my cabinets are going in behind me and all down the side. I've got all new cabinets and everything like that. So it's all good. But obviously I had to jump on because we got a podcast there. But look, it's weird. It follows me around. Like I'm gonna have to sort this camera out because it's like following me.
Have you got the same one that Steve had, basically?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because Steve's one sort of like kept centering, didn't it, when he was on with it? His kept doing it. It's quite clever, though.
There you go.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to play around with the settings. Hello, everyone. Hello, we're back. It's Geek Week, episode 176 with me, Jacob's Toys, and of course, the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. It's very echoey in here because I've got nothing in here. So I'm gonna have to put this camera out because it keeps just following me around. But there we go.
Look, my shelves are finally done. I've actually finally done something with them. Yeah!
Don't rub it in. I haven't even got my shelves up.
Yeah! I finally got a place to put all the Diamond Select statues. Yeah.
That's really
They were just scattered around the room before. They're like too good to not have on display, them statues.
By next week, I should have more going on. Like, I should definitely have more going on. I've got all my stuff coming in here later on. And then I'm gonna set it all up in the next couple of weeks. But I've got a new desk in front of me. I've got a new camera. I've got new lights. I've got new cabinets. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, they look really mint, mate. They look really good.
I love when people do all that. You're like, I've got a new camera. I'm sat here with a 99p headset in with my camera phone that I've been using for the last 5 years.
I literally haven't done anything with mine yet, though. So I've literally just plugged it in and come live straight away. So if there's any technical issues, I apologize. Loads of people in the chat chatting away. Let's just give a couple of shout outs very quickly. If you are watching us live, then obviously join in the conversation as always. We've got Andy Roberts in there, Shelley's in there, Joshy Boy Toys is there. Let's keep going down. SuperSorrell's in there as well. Shelley's blaming you for her pop soda purchases. There's loads of comments here, loads of comments. John Hood's in the comments as well. We will get to everyone as we go. Yeah, been a good week.
Yeah, it's been a good week, hasn't it?
Oh, hang on, I'm just having internet.
Oh no, not internet issues.
No,
I'm trying to think what else I've got to show.
They're having it in the house. I'm all wired up. I'm on the Ethernet cable again, so I'm wired up. So I shouldn't have any issues, and I should be able to go like full like 1080p or whatever it's called.
Sorry, I was just grabbing some stuff to show you because I've got some really funny stuff this week. It's so
really?
random. Oh, it's so random.
I've got loads of pickups, but I can't show you any of them because I'm in an empty room.
Well, pickup wise this week, I have to show you this, dude.
Freak me out. Chucky.
Christmas Chucky. It's the brand new Christmas Chucky from NECA. So he's got it's the blood soaked version. He's got the Christmas hat and he's got a tray of cookies and he's got some really good accessories for Christmas in this one.
And
he's got a little Christmas jumper he can take on and off as well.
Oh, nice.
So I got that.
Nice.
Then I went really nostalgic because the Buffy the Vampire Slayer pops are out. So I had to get my main man Spike. He was always my favourite.
Awesome.
And the Gentleman. Really remember that? Do you remember the Gentleman? My God.
Yeah.
That episode used to freak me out. But the best pickup of the day has to be Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop on a stoop.
Snoop on a stoop.
It's Snoop Dogg, but as an elf on a shelf.
Love it.
Snoop on a stoop. Had to grab it. I've got so much to review down below, mate. I've got so much on the floor to review. It's insane.
That is cool.
Are you having delay issues?
Give me 2 seconds.
You all right?
I'm going to tell.
Oh no!
No, I think I'm all right. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Is it a delay issue?
I don't know. I'm talking, and then you're not responding for about a good 3 seconds after.
Tell you what, give me 2 minutes and I'll be back. I'm going to go and put 50p in the meter.
Okay. Oh no, I'm all alone again, and I've got the entire audience watching. Yes, it's my show now. Oh, peoples. Yeah, I have got so much to review this week on the channel. It's going to be insane. I've coming up over the next couple of days. I've got the Chucky figure review. I've got all the Funkos because I've got so many Funkos to review. I'm going to be doing all of those. I've also got the Adorbs. So Doorables. Well, they've got some doll versions out. I've lost my earpiece. I've got the dolls version of them, which are these. These have been out in America. They've only just reached the UK. But there is a Jack Skellington. It's a bit late, obviously not Halloween now. But there's this Jack Skellington doll. She's called Devon. So I've got her basically. I went shopping and managed to get the Sally one, which is the little symbol on the bottom. They've got symbols on the bottom which tell you which one they are. So I've got the Sally one and I've got the Jack one. So I've got those. I just keep throwing things onto the bed, by the way, when I'm done. So I've got so much to get through. It's going to be insane. Let's see some close-up of the shelves while we wait for Jacob. Okay, I can do that. I can sort that out. Shelley says, you need to get reviewing, Ash. Soon the new year. I know. And the next year, it's going to be even more insane. Let me just flip my camera around and show you guys. I hope this works. So I can't really see what I'm doing now. I have to look back at my monitor. But yes, I have this entire new shelf set up, all done. It looks awesome. I've got all the things I'm currently into, if that makes sense, and I'm currently reviewing. So we've got the Skibbity toilet down there. We've got the big coffins in there from Halloween, the Terror Fried, the Five Nights, Poppy's Playtime. Then on the top shelf, I've got some of the pieces from the Terror Fried collection. We've got some of the monsters and stuff up there. Down here, I've got all my Funko soda collection. So that's all the sodas I have so far. Mrs. SuperSorrell's got a bunch upstairs as well. But here's my pop collection now on display, which looks awesome. Finally got a place to actually show off the Funkos now. Really happy about that. Because I've been dying to get a proper place to show these off for a while now. And as well, I've finally got a place to put the Diamond Select gallery figures. I've got the Nun, Lady Death, the Crow, and Buffy there. And then on the top shelf, obviously nothing's really changed on these shelves, but there's my sort of just ensemble of stuff. All the Living Dead dolls up there. And then the Monster High stuff. And of course, we've got the Sam corner, which is slowly becoming the Sam and Chucky corner, because I'm slowly getting more and more Chuckies as time goes on. But yeah, I'm loving this new setup. Finally got a decent setup display that I'm happy with. I loved having all the NECA on display, but the problem is, right, you couldn't see it on camera, whereas this is like stacked upwards, so you can actually see it now on camera. And I think that looks a lot better. And it actually shows, like, this is what I'm actually reviewing on the channel right now. So it's cool to like have all this back, like all this stuff that I actually review. It's nice having all the NECA stuff, but obviously I only review like 1 or 2 NECA figures a month, if that. So there's so many few and far between now because I own that many of them. That seems to be the problem with collecting a lot this year. I've been collecting for so long now that it feels like I'm at a point where I own everything. Like I already have 1,000 Spider-Men. I already have all the X-Men. I've collected a lot of stuff over the years, so I don't really need to collect much this year. So I've been struggling a bit, but I'm enjoying this setup now. Happy with it. Is Jacob back?
Was that a Skibbity toilet that I saw on your shelf?
That was a Skibbity toilet on my shelf, mate. That was a Skibbity toilet.
Wow. I can't get over how I tried to sort out my camera, but I can't sort it out. It's
all right, don't worry.
It's moving around. Internet's working. Can you hear me all right?
Woo! Yeah, fine.
Yeah. So no, I hardwired it because I was fed up with the Wi-Fi connection. So I hardwired it, and it was a little bit touch and go for a little while.
Awesome.
So yeah, I do feel like I'm in some kind of Squid Game or something like that.
It looks like it. It's so weird.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like I'm in a challenge.
It's like you're in the diary room in the Big Brother house kind of thing. Like, day 4, Jacob goes to the diary room.
Watch this. I just want to show off how big my room is. Ready? Watch this.
Whee!
That's it. And yes, I am wearing shorts in the winter. I always wear shorts.
I wear shorts around the house, to be fair. I don't see the point in being fully clothed. For all you guys know, I could be naked from the waist down, you know what I'm saying?
I'm really glad that I'm not, now that I've realised that my camera tracks me, because that could have been really awkward. But I have nothing in this room. All I have is I've got my new desk set up, I've got my computer, and I've got the internet, and that's it. Like, I have nothing else set up. I've still got a step ladder in here where I was sorting things out, but I'm here. I'm in my room, which is really cool. I'm really excited about it as well because it's kind of given me hearing you talk about your collections and that kind of stuff. It's given me an opportunity to just take everything down and kind of reevaluate what I want up on display and stuff. So
yeah. Well, I've got a bunch of stuff coming to make this pop even more. I've got some purple lighting, like dark purple lighting that I'm going to be putting behind everything. It's going to look awesome and glow upwards. And then I've got some like green, like rubbery slime that's going to hang off the edges of all the shelving. A bit like the font that I use on my videos, as I use that green slime font. I'm going to like put slime on the bottom of all the shelves. So it looks like it's just going to look like it's dripping down kind of thing. So it's going to match kind of what I put out on camera.
That's really cool. I've got lights as well. I've got lights to go around these beams here. So I'm going to have lights up around the top. I've got new lights to go in my cabinets. I've got new cabinets. I actually threw away all the old cabinets. So I had this conversation with Dan when I was at MTM, and I had 10 Detolfs. And I was like, you know what? I can't be bothered. I can't bother to take them apart, to clean them all, to move them all over, hope that they survive the transit. And yeah, I just recycled them and stuff. So
yeah,
they are gone. They are gone. But I just thought the other thing as well is because they're discontinued, as a collector, it's really hard to expand because you can only get them secondhand. And I've picked a few up that are really bad quality. So I was kind of like, you know what, I'm kind of done. And you know what, as a collector, if I decide that I want them again, it will be a collection journey to try to collect Detolfs again. But yeah, I was just kind of, I wanted to change. And they didn't really fit the aesthetic of my new white room.
Do you know what I've been trying this week, which I know a lot of people in the chat do follow us both, and so I want to ask out to the guys as well. I've done a couple of videos this week where I used the new long form short format. Have you heard about that? So you can do up to 3 minutes of shorts now in the vertical style. And I did a couple of unboxings on the channel this week using that format. I think it went pretty well. I just wondered if Shelley or Andy or Joshy, who I know definitely watch my stuff, would you let us know what they thought of that? Because I'm tempted to use that format going forward. I'm still going to do the occasional long form, review when it's necessary. But I mean, 3 minutes or less for certain things is perfect.
Yeah, they've done live as well, haven't they? Like live short form. Like
I love the live. I've been doing a lot of the vertical lives. About 4 weeks ago, about 2-3 weeks ago. I was doing them every day for like a week. I trialed it, and you got some mental amount of views from that. Because obviously it's on the shorts feed, and there's more people using that now on YouTube than anything. So it was insane the amount of people that were there. Oh, zoomed out. Woo! That was fun. Way! I like this.
See, that's the angle that I want to get. I do want to get that because I need to mess around with my camera settings, because obviously with this zoomed in one, you're not going to see a lot of my collection. But if I there we go.
I love it so much.
It was because when I took some coffee. Let's see if it does again.
You picked up this mug and it went.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I don't know. Shelley responded. She said yes, better than shorts.
Yeah, so I like the shorts for when I do because there's only so much you can do with a single blind bag of Five Nights at Freddy's, and there's not a lot to say about it. So I like it for that kind of stuff. But I mean, the 3 minutes was great for a Funko Pop review, because you're not going to spend more than 3 minutes unboxing a Funko. So doing a Funko Pop and showing it off on the spinner and stuff like that, that's a cool way of doing it. Like a long form short style. But then I can then save the longer videos for the Chucky review, which is there's loads to talk about. So that is a 10-minute video. You know what I mean? It's just choosing which style of format for the certain type of content. And I think I'm starting to nail that now, to be honest. I think I'm starting to get that down a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just testing my internet here.
And of course, YouTube are going to be pushing that like crazy over the next few months. So I'm looking forward to seeing what growth we can get out of it. Obviously, I'm on 67,000 subscribers, more subscribers than I ever thought I would ever get on this channel, to be honest. And I'm really, really hoping I can end the year on 70. I want to end this year on 70k.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's not much. There's not much. It should be easy enough to do with all the stuff, all the videos I'm going to be putting out. I have so much content to put out; it's insane.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I think you're probably good. I think you're probably good.
I want to enter the new year with a clean slate. I want no toys on the floor down here for the new year. I want it clean slate, so that next year it's like starting fresh with new toys from that year, kind of thing, going forward.
Yeah.
Free up some time to do some other kind of videos I've not done for a long time as well.
Yeah. I think you'll do it. I think you'll do it. I think we've got a good 2025 ahead of us, haven't we? Let's be perfect. We've got a really exciting 2025 ahead of us. I know that we've spoken about it, on other streams and stuff like that, but we are going to kind of make a kind of more official announcement about what we're doing and that. But 2025 is going to be a good week for Jake and Ash and the Geek Week. I'm excited for it. I really am.
100%. It's going to be crazy.
So this week, obviously, we've said HasLab is the kind of the subject matter. But before we get into it, there are a few other little bits that I think we need to talk about, don't we?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, thanks, Sam. Appreciate that. And Jackson's there as well. Hey, Jackson. Yeah, so there's a couple of little things. First thing that I want to talk about, Agatha.
Yo, it was so good.
You know what? A lot of people kicked off, though. A lot of people didn't like that last episode. And I don't know how.
It's because some people have never read a comic book. Let's be honest.
Yeah. All right. Spoilers ahead for anyone that hasn't seen it, but you should have seen it by now because it came out a few days ago. So there we go.
She's a niche character, but I think I said on one of the last streams I reckon she'll be a ghost, because obviously in the comics she's been a ghost for a long time. So I mean, I saw that coming a mile away, but it was still great to see it happen and unfold on screen.
And I'm pretty sure as well, when we were talking about it way back at the beginning, I said that Wickham was going to be the only one to survive the road. So I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with that. But I just thought it was a brilliant ending. I thought it was a really good ending for it all to be. I thought it mirrored WandaVision very much in the respect of obviously she fabricated everything in her head and he had fabricated everything. But for me, that final episode and going back and seeing Agatha's kind of journey was heartbreaking, but then at the same token, like really revealing that she had just been conning people all this time. Like it was Agatha all along. Like it's like it was in the title. Like they told us. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite MCU shows for a long time.
100%. But obviously, we saw that which called Jessica, wasn't she? She survived. She's a sorcerer. She's now got her full powers back as well. Obviously, in the comic books, she's obviously with Doctor Strange and all the sorcerers and stuff. So I'd love to see where she ends up from here. We also see Death. We meet the proper Lady Death for the MCU now. Yeah. She's here.
Yeah,
that could have great knock-on effects for Deadpool, Thanos. There could be some really cool moments there.
A lot of storylines in the comic books for Lady Death, which is
so many.
I loved how they portrayed her as well. Like she had that kind of that jokester kind of element to her, which was very cool. But then obviously making her attractive, but then making her kind of 50-50 with like the makeup and stuff.
They did that in the comic books quite a few times, especially in the Deadpool ones. Deadpool imagines her as that version, basically. It's like she appears differently to different people in the comics. So, like to Thanos, she was always skin and bone, the hooded Death, whereas to Deadpool, she was always the lycra wearing, sort of like sexy Death, if you will. Yeah. But she's appeared as like the Dia de los Muertos Death, like with the Mexican Day of the Dead sort of makeup and all sorts over the years. So it could be cool to see where they go with her from here. But yeah, seeing Wiccan come to his full powers and his costume, which was so comic book accurate, it was so awesome.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I really did I just thought that the whole thing was fantastic from beginning to end. Had me hooked.
How good was that scene where she's got him on the floor and she's talking him through it and he's finding Tommy and it's like Cerebro style kind of thing, and he does that thing of, "Am I killing him? Agatha, please tell me I'm not. He's not dying." And she says that one line afterwards. Sometimes boys just die. I was so heartbreaking. That's such a good line. She delivered it so well.
And I liked as well when she was a ghost. I liked that she was a ghost because obviously she didn't want to face Nicholas, but also that she had the white hair and it was a lot more comic book accurate. And I quite like that they've kind of done the buddy cop kind of team up, because we're going to obviously see more Wiccan moving forward, but to know that Agatha is there as well. So at any given moment we could have like an Agatha cameo, or we could have like an Agatha storyline or something like that, so to know that she's still there in the background is a lot of fun.
So, the book that he carries and he's been scribbling in, he's got random spells and things in it.
Yep.
That's the Darkhold, right?
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah. That's going to be his. I think that's going to turn into. It will become the Darkhold.
I hadn't thought about that.
Because he's got a fancy little book that he's writing all the dark and wonderful spells in it. And that's what the Darkhold is. It's a book full of tragic spells. I think that book will become corrupt or something, and it will turn into the Darkhold as we know it, kind of thing. Because obviously they showed at the final episode that he was like Wanda. His mind made everything up. The road didn't exist. Everything everything we saw was in his mind. He created it. So I can only assume that his mind is powerful enough to conjure the Darkhold to him. With Agatha now being gone, the Darkhold needs a owner, so to speak. So I wonder whether that's like the start of the Darkhold forming for the MCU for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were very choosy about the way they described Wanda, because they didn't describe her as dead. They described her as gone.
Yeah, they never mentioned that she was dead.
Because nobody dies in the comic books for real, for long.
But I wondered whether that's because... Oh, look, we zoomed out. I've got a stepladder. I don't know why it zoomed out there. Maybe if I just move back a little bit. No, zooms in on me. What if I get really close? No. Oh, there we go. There we go. Step ladder. Look. But you can see how big my room is now. Oh, now you can't. Yeah, I wonder whether the characters in this show didn't know what had happened in Doctor Strange, because there's no reason that Agatha would know. There's no reason that Tommy would know. Like, there's, you know, Billy. Sorry, not Tommy. We're looking for Tommy, aren't we? There's no reason why he would know. Like, so I wonder whether they're just saying that she's gone because she has just gone from Westview. But the thing to remember, though, is that we have got a Vision show coming up.
Yep.
So there's that element of things. Yeah, we got obviously the Young Avengers are forming. We've seen like Hulkling. We've seen Wiccan. So, you know, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? But anyway, it's a cool. I'm sure we'll come back to Agatha at some point.
Yeah.
What else did we have this week that we've got to talk about before we get onto HasLab?
So on the 15th of this month, we get Cobra Kai back, the second part of a 3-part series. So this is going to be the bulk of like the chunk of the season. Yeah,
it's all going to be tournament stuff. Let's be honest.
Yeah, hopefully. But I'm excited to see where they go with it.
It's all going to be tournament stuff. I'm just really curious how this is going to tie into the movie, because obviously we know that Daniel LaRusso then goes on to the new movie with Jackie Chan, and I'm curious to how they're going to tie the TV show and the movie into one. Like he's obviously going to get to a point where he then has to leave his family to go and do something, and I think it's going to tie in with the Mr. Miyagi box. I think that it's got to be there for a reason.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to tie it all together, but I'm sure we'll find out. It's going to definitely everything in this, because like they've not really given us any details about the movie. There's been no trailer. I think the trailer for the movie will follow the final part of the series.
That'd be a good way. It'd be good marketing. You've got your captive audience there.
That's what I mean. Like, do it as like almost like a next time on Karate Kid kind of thing to keep people engaged. Like, it's not, the story's still not over kind of thing.
But it might even be because they've got this part, and then the third part is like one episode, isn't it?
No, the third part's another like 5 episodes.
Oh, right. Okay. There goes that theory. But yeah, it's definitely done in an arc, isn't it? We've had the first bit, which is like the introduction, the beginning. This is going to be the kind of the main part of the story, and then we're going to have the kind of the roundup and the close in that last part, because they have also said there isn't going to be another season, haven't they?
Yeah, this is it. This is the finale for this particular story arc.
So yeah, so they're going to have to round it up, and characters are going to have to come to some kind of conclusion.
So it's 15.
Anything empty.
Yes. So it's 15 episodes overall. So we're going to get 5 more, basically. Episodes 6 through 10 will air on the 15th. And then we've got, it's an unconfirmed date. I'm guessing that, like last time, we'll get the date at the end of the final episode. We'll get the final 5 episodes in 2025. But we don't know the name of the episodes coming up, but we do know that episode 15, the finale episode, does have a name, and it's called X Degenerate.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Okay.
That's definitely about Johnny.
Yeah.
Because he was an ex-degenerate kind of thing. That's definitely about Johnny.
Yeah. Okay.
I wondered, like, here's my little two pence. I wonder whether to show that how far Johnny's come and that him and LaRusso are now really good friends and he trusts him and stuff. What if Danny LaRusso just says he has to go do something? He has to go find out about this thing about Mr. Miyagi and disappears from the tournament and leaves Johnny to look after the kids and to host it, to like get them through the tournament. And that's where the movie picks up, basically, and that we lose Daniel LaRusso for the last part of the series, maybe. And then the film is set at the same time as the series, like parallel, and you find out what he got up to with Jackie Chan and all that stuff. Because they're over. It would make sense then. That would be like a big step for Johnny.
So basically, okay, so he goes before the end of. Oh, okay.
Yes, like maybe the cliffhanger for
Yeah,
episode 10
I can
is
get
him
behind
saying
that.
to Johnny. Yes, like the cliffhanger for episode 10, the end of part 2 could be Daniel saying, "We've got to, I need to go, find out about Mr. Miyagi. Something's, he's had like they've had some revelation from that box, and it's shattered everything he thought about Mr. Miyagi. And so he's like, I need to go figure this out. And Johnny like sends him off with well wishes and that, and Daniel LaRusso and him shake hands and sort of part ways, kind of thing. And then you've just got him going through his thing with Mr. Miyagi, and then the Karate Kids doing their thing for the Cobra Kai thing. You know what I mean? And then it's both things are parallel to each other. So the movie's not taking place after the competition; it's taking place during.
Yeah, that could work. That could definitely work. The thing I really like about Cobra Kai, to be perfectly fair though, is that it's something that like my eldest son enjoys watching, I enjoy watching, and we can kind of watch it together. Or even if we don't watch an episode together, we can kind of talk about it afterwards. And it's quite nice to have that common ground over something that I'm being very nostalgic for, because this is essentially the next chapter of the Karate Kid. And even though he's gone back and watched the Karate Kid movies, this for him is Cobra Kai is like the leading kind of part of the franchise.
Yeah.
And so it's just really nice to kind of be able to kind of connect on that. That makes sense. What else we got?
What other trailer did we get this week? We had something else. I'm sure we did. What else have we had this week? We had something else to talk about.
I thought we did as well. Let me check my notes.
I'm trying to scroll back, but Stranger Things is the new trailer is gonna drop on the 6th of the 11th, so this week coming up, because it's Stranger Things Day, and Stranger Things put a thing out saying be prepared, 6/11.
Yep.
So
that's in.
We're wrecking a trailer.
Tuesday. We're Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Thursday.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, exciting.
Skeleton
Crew. John.
Skeleton Crew, that's the one.
That was the thing that we were talking about. Skeleton Crew. Oh, I'm loving Skeleton Crew.
That new trailer. Yeah, that new trailer made it look amazing.
I think it's going to be. But then again, it's Star Wars. So you really can't be too sure, because I think most of the trailers for stuff has looked really good, and like even the Book of Boba Fett, like it looked really good from the trailers, and obviously it wasn't as good as some of the others. But I'm a big fan. As far as I'm concerned, if you're pumping out more Star Wars, happy days.
I'm excited because this is something again that we've not got, as far as we know, we've not got a Jedi presence or a Sith presence. This is deep space on the outer rim with cowboys and pirates and smugglers and thieves, and this should be that kind of a program. This should be the Goonies in space.
And I don't think they need it. I really don't.
No, they don't. Star Wars is a vast universe. You don't have Jedi everywhere.
Yeah. I just don't think that they need it. I think they need to do some of that more grounded Star Wars.
Yeah. And they are somewhere in space, which is quite oldie, out of touch, because they've got Old Republic credits.
Yeah.
Because they make that point in the trailer, don't they? But that voice that's coming out of that robot is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a proper pirate voice coming out of a robot.
And the figures looked good. Seeing the figures on display at MTM, they look right. They look good.
Sorry, I can't take you seriously with that camera doing that. It's hilarious. You sat there. Imagine I'm going to slowly move my camera every time I move, and this is how distracted it is. I'm talking to you, and it's going, yes, I'm really looking forward to Star Wars. And them figures look really good.
Listen,
hang on. I'm just gonna have a drink. That's what it looks like on my
Listen, this was me jumping on really quickly. Like literally everything was so last minute. I was like, I can't do another stream from not in my space. So I was kind of, You know what? I've got nothing here. I've literally got my computer and my desk. It looks like a really abandoned office at the moment. There's like a nice computer desk and all the stuff around me, and then just nothing. A stepladder. Like it's so. But next week it will be a little bit more pimped out, and then you'll gradually over the weeks you'll see the kind of the room build up around me again. So, but there you go. Wet Boy 40 stroke Graham said as well. Disney Plus gave us the Marvel Look Ahead trailer.
It did.
Did you catch that one?
I did.
So obviously he's mentioned Marvel Zombies and Ironheart are both in there, but we also got a look at the new What If trailer and Wonder Man as well. Our first look at Wonder Man, which is
looks quite good. Looks interesting.
I'm excited for Wonder Man. I think it'll be cool. It's that kind of, you know, stuntman gets superpowers, becomes a superhero reluctantly and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be good fun.
I think it's because I know nothing about Wonder Boy from the comics. It's not someone I've had an over familiarity with, unless it were an Avengers comic over the years. You know what I mean? And I wasn't the biggest reader of Avengers, so I mean, it's one of them characters that I probably only read when he's in an ensemble kind of group.
Yeah, he's not one I'm overly familiar with either. Again, like yourself, I've kind of read him as part of a bigger story arc, but I've not kind of dived deep, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm quite intrigued by it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but no, it looks fun. It looks fun, so can't complain.
Did you see that Disney and Marvel are finally doing a massive big crossover for the comic books?
No.
So you know the what if book, like the what if line.
Mm-hmm.
So they are making What If Disney as Marvel. So what the first one that's coming out is What If Minnie Mouse became Captain Marvel.
Oh man.
Mate, do you know what? I'm all for it. It looks amazing. It looks the artwork just looks brilliant. All the Marvel characters have been recast as Disney characters.
Okay.
So she isn't like interacting with the regular Captain America stuff. It's like characters like Spider-Ham and people like that. You know what I mean? She's in the cartoon Marvel universe.
Okay, all right, I can get behind that.
It looks quite good. Like all the DuckTales characters are there and stuff. It looks great.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Oh, zoomed out again. I'm zoomed in again.
But yeah, there's going to be a bunch of them apparently. It's going to be like a 6-part new comic book series that's coming out. What is that angle?
The user manual. I've just dug it out. So I'm just going to see if I can sort out my thing.
Oh dear. But other than that, I mean, this week I went through all my comic books finally and got them on. I've got them all nicely done as well, so I can do a video on them this week. Because people have been dying to see my comic books collection for a long time. So I finally got I could finally reach them. Because I had all my Funko Pops like over there. They were like all stacked up in the corner. And I finally got a proper display stand for them over behind me, so I can finally reach my comics again now.
You know what? I've got back into comics.
I love comics.
I've definitely got back into comics, and I've got some more comics kind of been arriving. What
I'm loving as well is my daughter's getting into comics because at school they have a series of books called Graphics. Have your kids ever brought them home?
Yeah.
So they're like, we've got like Goosebumps, the haunted mask.
Yeah,
and that's by this. It's by the graphics thing. So it's like it's a comic book that kids can read. So she's slowly getting into these kind of things and slowly buying up graphic novels now. So I finally managed to get her into comic books. So I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of graphic novels.
I found that the other day as well. The night before Christmas, the Battle for the Pumpkin King.
Oh, what?
It's a prequel, and there's like a proper like pumpkin like king before Jack, and he looks so awesome. I'm trying to get a good zoom in on him. It looks so good.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna have to try to get that.
There's a couple of them apparently. There's one about Sally as well, which is the sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas, where she becomes the Pumpkin Queen.
Yeah.
They've turned that into a graphic novel now.
I've just got to throw this up. Bethany, Zoom random times. Yep, of course. Shelley, her daughter said, "Is that Rick Grimes?" I'll take that. I'll happily take that, Shelley. Thank you very much. Cool. I'll tell you what, though. Speaking of Walking Dead, I've got them sitting here ready to be reviewed.
They're amazing.
They are such good figures.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about the Diamond Select Walking Dead grayscale figures. Yeah, stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's funny as well, grayscale, because I brought that up. I don't know if you've caught the interview I did with Dwight, but I brought up about the grayscale figures and the black and white figures, because obviously you've got things like Werewolf by Night, and he counteracted it and said, well, what about a whole wave with things like WandaVision and all that kind of stuff? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I said, other brands and other companies are doing the black and white and the sketchbook and the stylized, and they sell. Like, I love the look of those Walking Dead figures. Like, they are straight off the page.
If they did a wave with black and white, Wanda Vision in their like 50s attire with Agatha in there as well, that's 3. Werewolf by Night 4, Elsa Bloodstone 5. You've got a wave without even really trying.
Man Thing is a builder figure.
Done. Need one more fig, like it's 6. Is it 5 or 6 for a wave these days?
Yeah. So let's talk about HasLab, because obviously we put that as our kind of title for this week's show. So anyone that is unfamiliar, we try to kind of have a theme for every single show, just so that we've kind of got a focus point of conversation to kind of come back to. And this week is HasLab, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. So just bring it into context. I spoke to Dwight at MCM Comic Con, and we spoke about HasLabs and the HasLab projects and all that kind of stuff. And a couple of the things from the interview, if you haven't seen it, it's on my channel. You can go and watch it. But a couple of the things from the interview that I picked up on was that Ramen Toy doing the Ramen Racer, Dwight didn't seem that angry about. He was quite for it, in the respect of, as long as you're not stepping on infringement and you've got a way of doing something, then all powers to you. That's great. He did say, obviously, that, you know, when they put their heart and soul into something, to not see it fun from a designer point of view and from that aspect of the project, it was heartbreaking. But then we talked about the fact that they've done the Sentinel and they've done Dragon Man this year, which are straight to pre-order as opposed to a HasLab funded project. And he mentioned that the Sentinel originally was down as an idea for HasLab, but they realized that they could do it at a price that could just go straight to pre-order. So instead of it being a HasLab and it being locked behind a pay window, they decided to just do it as a straight up release, which I think has its pros and cons. I think, you know, doing that is a good thing, but I don't think that they would sell any more or any less doing it that way, personally. Because if you're happy to part with a certain amount of money, you're happy to part with a certain amount of money. And if the Sentinel was coming out at I think it's 175, this Sentinel.
Yeah.
If that's how much the HasLab was, I think they would still get the same amount of backers. Like, personally, I think it's the territory of, like, when the prices really hike up is when people are kind of on the fence. Like Shelley said here, I'm really tempted by the Ecto 1, but £399, I think my hubby would kill me. It's not $399 if you go for the base model. It's only $349. I'm just
you may as well go the whole. If you're going to go that far, you may as well go the whole way, though, aren't you? Well, there's not much in it between 49 and 99. There's not much in it.
I saw it at MCM, and I think it's probably. I don't know whether it's just speaking to the nostalgic element of Ghostbusters for me, but I think it's probably one of my favorite HasLabs that I've seen to date, just because it ticked so many boxes for me. So straight away, you get the Library Ghost and you get Slimer, 2 characters that we haven't had in the Plasma series, which, if they're exclusive to the HasLab, any kind of diehard Ghostbuster fan are going to want them in their collection. in the deluxe version, which Shelley's referencing, you also get the 4 Ghostbuster 2 suits. Now, I did ask Emily if, because Plasma series has kind of dwindled, whether this was kind of a love letter to those that collected it, so it's an opportunity to own something big at the end of the series, or whether it was an opportunity for Plasma series to continue. And she said it's very much down to the back end, that if this thing does sell, then the people that make decisions are going to be going, okay, what else can we put into Plasma series? Because clearly there's still a market there. So even if they redo the Ghostbuster 2 suits, we're not going to get the set that are in the HasLab. Those are going to be exclusive to the HasLab. The other interesting thing that they did this week, and I don't know if you saw this, was that they did an early bird thing. And the title of it was 2 weeks to Tully. So that if they hit full funding within the first 2 weeks, everyone was going to get that kind of iconic Tully in his Ghostbuster jumpsuit with a proton pack and all the rest of it. And on Halloween, they went on live stream and they announced that basically they were going to open that up anyway, and that's available. So everybody that backs it is going to get that Tully figure. So I thought that was an interesting move, because we're only obviously a few weeks into the project. It goes all the way to December before it closes. And we're already at like 8,000 backers out of 12,000 people needed. So we're already kind of 2/3 of the way there. But for me, it is a huge, a huge kind of piece of kit. It really is. It's lights, it's sounds. You've got 4 Ghostbusters, you've got Tully, you've got 2 ghosts. So there's 7 figures there already. And if you're getting the deluxe version, you're also getting the opportunity to switch it between the 2 Ectos. Comics Legends in the chat has said, HasLab reminds me of Matty Collector. It's hard for me to believe that these huge companies don't have the money to create these projects, as prices should be lower, in my opinion. I do agree with you. I don't disagree with that. Let's be honest, though. These big toy companies aren't our friends. They're a business at the end of the day. And this is an easy way of them making money off of the collector. I think if they were going to put out the HasLab Ecto 1, for example, we'd still be looking at a higher price for it. And I think that's what the Marvel team are trying to do now, is they're trying to give us those bigger figures for just a regular price to see how that goes. But kind of go on.
I was going to do a breakdown, because we've got 7 figures overall. Because obviously in the thing, if you get the deluxe, we're talking £400 for the deluxe, or $399.99. But if you think we're getting 7 figures, each of those figures at retail would be about, I've estimated £23, because that's about standard these days. So that's £161 just for the 7 figures alone. So we're talking it's £230 for the car, basically, is how that seems to be the breakdown on this one.
Yeah.
So you're paying $230 for the car and about $160-ish for the figures.
Which isn't a huge amount, I don't think. Like I think it's no, but I mean, when you compare it to other things that are out there on the market, so look at the Sentinel. The Sentinel's up at £175.
Yeah.
So the Sentinel's £175. How much did the McFarlane Batmobiles?
No idea.
They were a couple of £100 each. I'm sure they were, like the big ones. So, and then when you compare it to something like a Hot Toy or a 1/6 scale toy, or action figure, however you want to call it, you can be looking at £200, £300, £400, £500 for those. So I think that, if you're essentially getting a wave of figures in with this Ecto 1 as well. So, and I think that's why it's my favorite HasLab, because you are getting a lot. There's a lot on offer. It is huge. It is massive.
What I'm trying to say is that what I would have loved is to have seen another tier, basically. So I would love to them to break it down so that you could buy just the figures as a pack. So the 7 figures as a wave, £170 all in, right? I would have probably bought that over buying the car, because I've got nowhere to put the car. What am I going to do with it? The figures I will do things with, photography and stuff. The car, I've got nowhere to display. I've got nowhere to put it. I don't want it. I don't want to spend £250 on a car. but I would spend £160 on a wave of figures because that's what we do anyway. I would have bought the figures.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I really wish they would have done like figures and car, then deluxe package. You know what I mean? Like done it that way and build it up.
Yeah, I think I think that's right. I think Jack said here he's back the Ecto one for what's on offer rather than offering the set rather than value for money. It's a good idea in theory, but would like to see how it's handled, restructured a little bit. And I think that's a perfect comment in regards to the HasLab. I think if they looked at how they structured the offering or how it was, what was available, I think a lot more people would get behind it. Like the deluxe version of the Ecto, for example, with all the bells and whistles and all the figures should be the very kind of top tier of what you could get. But the bottom tier shouldn't be the same, but just with less. Like you say, it should be a much smaller so that you can kind of back in. Similar to how a lot of Kickstarters do it, is they do different levels of backing, don't they? So you can kind of go, well, I want to back it, but I only want to go in for X amount, or I want to go in for everything. So
thing is, if it's about money and because they're doing it in that way, imagine if they would have just done tier 1, you just get Tully. Do you know how many people would just buy the Tully figure? They would have made thousands, millions, or just on Tully alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even if it was like, like the library ghost or Slimer, or do it, it's like build it up in stages so that people of all walks can enjoy the HasLab experience rather than whacking it up at £400. Yes, I spend a lot of money on toys, as you all know. I spent about 300 or 400 quid in the last few days, but it was individually on lots of different items. I don't splash out £400 in one go on one item. I never have done, never will. So, I mean, if you'd have done something like where I could buy a few figures and come in at a smaller scale level, but still be a part of the project, I think that would have done well.
Yeah,
I think things like that would work. Whereas at the moment, it feels very, you're either all in or you're not in at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Comics Legend again in the chat, $80 for the gold label Batmobile with a 6-inch Batman figure. Yeah, okay. That's now corrected. The difference is, though, with that one, is that did it have all the lights and sounds and bits and pieces? Because I think that's what Hasbro will justify the price. And again, it is a moneymaker. They know that there are fans out there that want the Ecto 1. So, of course, they're going to put it in at a price. I'm not justifying it. I just think that I can see why they do what they do.
McFarlane, McFarlane obviously don't also have a board of directors. They don't have to. They're not. I don't think they're a public. It's something like they're not a public company or something, isn't it? There's something different between Hasbro and McFarlane. McFarlane are a lot smaller fish comparison to the big company of Hasbro. There's a big difference between the offerings because the different style of companies, they're going to have different. They've got different manufacturers, different ways and methods. The way Hasbro do it is a little bit more. They offer a lot more for the money. To be fair.
One of the things I will say about Emily, and I have put the interview I did with her out as well, and we talk a lot about the Ecto 1 on that one. But she's so passionate about it. Like,
I like Emily. She's fun.
She's a star, but she is genuinely passionate about what the offering is. And I think my favorite takeaway from the interview was a little embroidered HasLab Ecto 1 patch. It's big enough to sew onto my jumpsuit. So if I am ever so inclined, but it's not all been swings and roundabouts. It's not all been sunshine and rainbows, has it? For Hasbro's HasLab, like they have had some absolutely diabolical fails. Let's be honest. So I know somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat, but the Rancor absolutely nosedived because they were trying to get a huge amount of money for something that they thought that all the fans would want, and nobody really bought into it, did they? Like they got a very small amount of backers.
It didn't help. They didn't help themselves though when they said like tier 1 is basically a cardboard cutout. Tier 2 is some skulls. You know what I mean? Like that should be in the box anyway. That wasn't helping at all.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. There's my stepladder again. Every now and again, my camera just wants to show you that I have nothing in my room yet. But I don't know. I'm not. So I'm a big Marvel fan, but the only HasLab that I've got from Marvel is the Sentinel. I didn't support any others. I wasn't interested in Galactus. I wasn't interested in Giant Man. I was, of course, interested in the Hell Charger because I'm a big Ghost Rider fan, but I got that from Ramen Toy. But I think when we're talking about money, I think that's a good example that things do cost money, because Ramen Toy did put it out at less. It was a more affordable option, but it was still a high priced item. Like, it wasn't a huge amount less. It was ever so slightly less. Like, I think we're talking maybe like $90, I think it was, difference, maybe a little bit more. But it still cost them to produce it. And that's a smaller toy company that don't have the toolings and stuff that Hasbro have. I did ask about the Firehouse as well, but wasn't happening. Yeah, Jack again, great comment. A payment plan option would definitely be a good one. I mean, they give you about 4 months, don't they? 3 or 4 months on the run up. It's about 48 days or something like that, I think the HasLab projects run for. So you do kind of have a little bit of time to plan. But
I think the reason they haven't done that so far is also they would have to team up with someone like Clara, or they would have to team up with a finance company then, and then it starts to get, then they take a cut, and the price would probably go up if they had to do things like that, because then someone else is taking a cut of the pie that Hasbro wants. So I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Then we're talking finance companies, APR. You know, it's a big thing to have that. Basically, if you haven't already got that in the company, it's quite a big step to add it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I would have thought that someone like Hasbro would have the opportunity to do something like that in house. Like, surely they have the means to do that in house.
If they just accept PayPal, you could do PayPal Pay in 3.
Yeah,
that'd be the way to do it. Just accept PayPal payments.
Yeah. Okay, so you've said you're not a big HasLab fan. You've not.
I don't do HasLabs. I don't do crowdfunded projects. I don't do anything like that for me.
What would they have to put out to get SuperSorrell to back them?
As I've said like 1,000 times before, for me, I don't want a big play set. I don't want a big, because I've got nowhere to put it. But if they were to like choose a niche bunch of figures that not everyone would buy at mass retail, but comics collectors and people that are in the community would want, a wave of figures as a HasLab project, I think would be a good way to go. Like we keep saying, we would love the Werewolf by Night stuff, or Dracula, or some of the more darker characters of Marvel. I've always said that the HasLab's idea is a great way of doing that, because the die-hard comic book fans like us would pay for those characters.
Yeah.
Whereas at mass retail, there wouldn't really. There'd be shelf warmers.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't need to have, because obviously you're backing a project, so you're going to get the amount of people you need to back it to get the figures. So every figure could be new with new tooling because you're paying for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
They wouldn't need to give you the shelf warmer character. You know what I mean? They wouldn't need to give you the random crappy Spider-Man that you've had 1,000 times. You know what I mean? It would be 6 new characters that you want.
Yeah. I totally agree. Completely agree. I think a wave of figures is definitely a way forward, and I think with the Ecto 1, like you mentioned, if they have a wave there, they have a Ghostbuster 2 wave with 2 really good ghosts from the kind of the story, if you like, or the franchise was the word I'm looking for.
I've already put feelers out with a few people that I know have backed it, and basically said, do you actually want the library ghost? Because if not, there's a guy here willing to pay about £50 for one.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I would just love that library ghost on its own. I would pay for that, because I've been waiting for the ghost to come out from that line for years.
Yeah. I think Slime is a good shout as well. Like the fact they haven't done Slimy yet is brilliant. I mean, I've got a 3D printed one, but I'll quite happily swap that out for the HasLab one, given the chance. I don't know. My biggest problem with it is that you really do have to see these things in hand to kind of know whether you want them or not. And the opportunity is very limited. That if you're, if they're going to have it at a convention, because there was no mention of the Ecto One being at MCM, we all just kind of hoped and presumed, didn't we? But having seen it, you kind of can see it in your collection, or you can kind of visualize where it would go or what you would do with it and that kind of stuff. And I think it does make a massive difference. And I just think it's a shame that there isn't more opportunity for people to see that in hand. But yeah, I don't know. Jack again with a blinding comment there. HasLab does work better for 3 3/4 inch scale. I do agree with that. Completely agree with that. And I think the Star Wars line are absolutely knocking it out of the park with their 3 3/4 inch scale HasLabs. That's one of the main reasons why we were kind of wondering whether they were going to do that with Ghostbusters, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
I still think they missed the trick. I really do. I still think they missed the trick with that one.
Yeah, they obviously know that the Firehouse would work anytime they release it. So I mean, they don't need to rush it out because they can release that at any time and people would pay for it.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing I took from the conversation I had with her though was that if the Ecto One does well, the Plasma series potentially is coming back.
Yeah,
which I think is very exciting. Yeah, I think it's very exciting because there's quite a few characters, mainly ghosts, that we could do with having in our collection. I just hope it doesn't. I hope it's kind of a limited run where they kind of go, right, we're going to give you this, and this for the Plasma collection, as opposed to kind of just then going down the angle of just giving us everyone and anyone like the Indiana Jones line did. I wasn't a big fan of that.
No, but there's certain characters like Janine is still needed.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I know not a lot of people liked it, but there is a new movie out there. We've not had a single bit of merchandise for it.
Did we not have any? No, we didn't, did we?
We didn't. They released some like 6-inch little 5 POA figures in America. We didn't even see them in the UK.
No, we didn't.
America got a bunch of merch, but nothing made it over to good old Blighty. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, some Plasma series figures for the new movie. I mean, surely Paul Rudd in a jumpsuit. And everyone would buy that.
They've got it. They've got the jumpsuits. They got the Paul Rudd head.
Is that why they've not done it? I don't know. Is it because so many people would laugh at it and go, "Well, we've already got that." But surely that's just money printing for Hasbro because they already have the tooling for the character, they already have the jumpsuit body, and they already have his head. Surely it's not a massive step to shove two together at a factory.
No. I don't know. But yeah. I'm just trying to think what other projects didn't fund. So we had the Hell Charger that didn't fund. We had the.
I've honestly been wondering whether
lightsaber. Rancor.
The Cookie Monster.
Any others? Cookie Monster. Yeah, like the original, the OG HasLab. But it isn't for everyone. It really isn't for everyone.
I've been wondering whether Hasbro have got more franchises under their belt than staff. Because they seem to share a lot of the... Yeah, well, they seem to share a lot of the designers and team members with different areas. Whereas, like, some brands like Marvel and Star Wars seem to have a dedicated team that push things out all the time. Whereas Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, all the other ones that they own seem to share the same 3 or 4 people. And the kind of, we'll put this on the shelf for a while and release this one. Then we'll put this on the shelf for a while and release this one. And it seems to be very pick and choose as to how things get released.
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on the lines.
Did you see Fan Home doing a Megazord?
No. Oh, God.
Yeah, so Fan Home are doing... So Fan Home, for anyone that doesn't know, is a subscription service where you basically kind of buy a $2,000 figure over the course of like 3 years. They're really good. I mean, I'm doing the Optimus Prime build for them at the moment, and I'm absolutely loving it.
You do know, though, you'll never get it completed, right? You do know that they're just dangling the carrot for many, and then eventually it'll be, we're no longer going to produce this line because it's no longer financially viable, and you'll be left with half a built Optimus Prime. They do it every time, and people fall for it.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. But they're
Collect
doing
all the Star Wars ships in the universe. It'll only take you 6 years. £20 a month, please.
They're doing a Megazord though at the moment, and the really cool thing about this is that it turns into the individual Zords, so it fully transforms and turns into a Megazord, and and I just thought that was a HasLab that they completely missed. To do a Power Rangers HasLab Megazord, like would have been like that would have cleaned up surely. Like all the Power Ranger fans would want a transforming Megazord for a few hundred pounds.
Mate, there are so many HasLabs they could do with Power Rangers. Because it's a kaiju franchise. It's big monsters, big mechs.
Yeah.
I don't get why the Power Rangers franchise would die to death the way it did, to be honest.
No.
There's so much they could do. All the different Zords as HasLabs, all the... Do you know what? Even if you made the Zord, right? And then then to go with that Zord, do you know what I want? I want a Goldar that is the same size, because Rita would throw down her staff and make the monsters grow. Just do the monsters in big styles to go with the Zords.
Yeah. I did say to Emily, I said, does this mean that we'll get a HasLab Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Yeah.
And she said, no, I don't know. Jack said about Ghostbusters as well. The Mondo real Ghostbuster figures are out.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about those, but yes, they went up for pre-order. But yes, like best part of £100 each. Which
more than that. They're not they're not. I wish they were that cheap.
And did you know
get the prices?
That over in America, the pre-order you got the Ghost as well, but over here you didn't.
No, you just get the figure.
I mean, I think they're beautiful. Like they are absolutely stunning, and they are literally straight out of the animation. But for that kind of money, for a figure that size with a handful of accessories, I couldn't even imagine. I'll wait till they come out and then just buy the Diamond Select ones.
So yeah, the figures in the UK, obviously, like say, we're just getting the basic figure and Slimer. So you get Venkman and Slimer for $99.99. But in America, they're obviously releasing the proper big Ghost as well. You got Sam Hine, one of the better characters from the franchise, and that's $202. But the Sam Hine figure is basically a posable statue.
Yeah. That's a lot of
crazy.
Money.
It is a lot of money in it.
That's like next level money.
But there are people out there that are crazy enough to do it. I mean, I think our friend, Pete from Triple G Comics. I'm pretty sure he's bought them. I'm pretty sure he's got them on pre-order.
I think he has. Bethany said that there was an update. I missed this one, but there was an update from Mondo saying free shipping for US only for 2-pack and single pack. Oh, so no free shipping for us then?
No, God no, not for the UK.
No, I can't justify that kind of price for a single.
Nope.
Like they are really cool looking figures, but I just cannot justify it. It's too much. Too much.
The thing is, we've waited this long. Another company will get the license and will make something. Do you know who's not had the license yet? NECA. Let them have the license. See what they do with them.
That'd be quite good. That would be quite good. I'm just trying to think what else I'd want from Ghostbusters. Like I would like the real Ghostbusters, but I think the fact that Mondo put them out, I don't think we're going to be getting them from anyone else anytime soon.
Yeah. God no. Ghostbusters though, I mean, for HasLabs to stay on topic, I mean, we said it before, 3 3/4 inch would be the way to go. The Firehouse, or even like say this, then you could do the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Or even better, the one that I've always thought would be cool would be the Statue of Liberty. But it'd have to be 3 3/4 inch to work.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that on a different size, would you?
Nope. But a wave of ghosts. I mean, a wave of ghosts would just be ideal.
I don't think they even necessarily need to be. What I'd really like to see is they wouldn't need to necessarily be ghosts from the movies either. If they went back and took some of them Kenner ghosts and made them kind of realistic so that they fit in with the film version of the figures that we've got, I'd be all over that.
Well, there was loads of ghosts in the movies that just had quick cameos that they could bring back. You know what I mean? As like full-fledged ghosts, like what Diamond Select did with the zombie taxi driver and things like that.
And they did the other version of the library ghost as well, didn't they?
They did.
So I think.
And just think
that in a figure form.
Yeah, and just think as well. I know a lot of people don't like it, but the other Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters, how many ghosts?
Loads.
How many ghosts were in that movie that they could do?
So many.
The bride from that house at the very beginning. I can never remember her name, but the bride ghost from the very beginning. That'd be amazing as a ghost, as a figure.
Oh, I'm just really hoping it. I'm really hoping it takes off. I think the HasLab will fund though. I really do. They've still got like a month on it, and it's already 2/3 of the way there. So
I'm surprised they've not milked the mini Stay Puft Marshmallows more than what they have done. To be fair,
the only thing I'm curious about now, because I did ask Emily if we were going to see any more marketing, and she said we've got a whole bunch of weekly drops that we're going to kind of put out there. Now that they've released that Tully is a buy it and you get him kind of offer, it's not an early bird, I wonder whether they're going to throw in a new tier nearer the end that if we can push it to 15,000, we're going to give you this as well. So I do wonder whether there's potentially more to come.
Hope so.
I like that. Excuse me. Just got a yawn in my little white shed. So I look like I'm in a Santa's grotto.
It does.
Without anything here, it literally looks like a Santa's grotto. It's just an outside office, but it's just empty. It's not a grotto. It's not a grotto. It's got a nice wood floor on it. Yeah. Okay. So you're still not a fan of HasLab. They're short of them doing a thing. See, the only one I've backed, the only one I've got is the Sentinel, and I'm kind of over it as well. It's at the time it was a lot of hype, and it was a lot of kind of I was really excited about it and everything like that. And he looks good on my display with my X-Men figures, but I'm a bit over it. I'm just kind of like, okay, it's cool. Right, I've got a Sentinel. But beyond that, nothing else really appealed to me. But before we do close up, Dwight did say something that he said that when they were discussing this Sentinel, the pre-order one, they had about 10 ideas out on the table. So 10 potential Marvel HasLabs out on the table. And they decided to go for the pre-order Sentinel instead. The only other character he mentioned, and I've mentioned it in previous interviews with Ryan Penagos, with Steve, with Dan, with Ryan, was Fing Fang Foom. And he actually mentioned that. And he said, this is just me speculating, but for a figure of that kind of size, we'd be looking at the kind of £500 mark or the $500 mark. And a lot of people in the comments of my video have kind of gone, for what? Like, there's no tool, there's no electronics, it's just a big figure. But if that's already kind of a thing that's in their head, as in, well, if it's going to be this, it's going to be this, does it mean we're potentially going to go even bigger for the next Marvel HasLab? And obviously by bigger, we mean more expensive.
Potentially. The way they're going.
I don't know. Before we do round up, I want to give a shout to Star Action Figures. They're awesome. I've always got stuff from Star Action Figures sporadically. Like, it's always kind of been here and there. But they sent over the Strange Tail Wave, and it looks incredible. Like, I'm proper hyped. Have you got it yet?
Nope.
It's a good wave of figures. It is a good wave of figures. And if you actually get it from Star Action Figures at the moment, they've got wave 2 of their collector cards.
No, for God's sake. Okay.
Yep. They send them out. So, but they're cool. You're not happy with that. You're not like the cards.
stupidest little gimmick ever, isn't it?
It
To
is
be
a
fair,
silly gimmick.
it's crazy because I know Mad About Horror do it as well, and I push Mad About Horror all the time because they send me stuff, and they include a little art piece in every box.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's Michael Myers for Halloween, but yeah, same sort of thing. I just find it funny.
I just wasn't fussed about them, and I got this Strange Tale wave turn up, and there was a little pack of art cards in there, and I was like, "Oh, these are quite cool."
Do you know what the funny part is? As I'm progressing through, this lovely world of toy collecting, I don't know. There's a little bit of me, big revelation, big thing coming out of my mouth. But when it comes to like buying a lot of action figures, I think I'm kind of over it. I do pick and choose what I buy now. I mean, Chucky is the first action figure that I've bought in 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And I used to buy figures daily, and now I'm like, meh. But like, if you look at the display behind me, it's changed dramatically from what I used to collect. You know what I mean?
Massively. Yeah, massively. But I'm on that with you. I really am on that path with you, because when I took down my collecting room in the last place, I was putting a lot of figures in boxes that I wasn't fussed about putting back up on the shelf. But because they were there, I was kind of like, I didn't move them. Whereas I've kind of boxed up a lot of stuff that I don't think I'm going to be getting out again. So I am interested to see what my display looks like when I kind of put it back together, and where that is. The Strange Tale wave, for example, was, I think I picked it up because I've been hanging around with you for too long, and horror. It was just kind of like, you know what, it's a horror wave, and this is cool. And it's just, but yeah, the thing that I liked about Star Action figures is that it's literally next day delivery. So it was kind of like,
I definitely need to get the Dracula. I need to get the Dracula just because it's Dracula, and he'll sit in the box in the corner. I know he will, because he doesn't scale with any of my other things now. Oh, my collections are now moved obviously to NECA, McFarlane. So everything's like that 7-inch scale now. So the Marvel Legends are useless to me now.
No, see, but mine is 3 and 3. Mine is 1/6 scale. So I was very reluctant, but I was kind of like, you know what, I haven't picked up any Marvel Legends properly for a while, and these felt a little bit different because it was like a horror wave, and we're not going to be getting loads and loads of them. So like, you know what, I'll jump on that. There are a couple that I'm not fussed about. But yeah, for me, it's all about 1/6. Definitely.
Yep. I mean, I've moved over to a lot more. I like Mythic Legions. One thing that I'm loving right now. I love collecting them. I think they're amazing, and I love the fact that they're not released all the time.
No.
So I'm not paying out monthly for something.
No.
Same with Loose Collector. I mean, I've got their werewolves currently on order. They'll be arriving soon, so I'll be getting those. But again, it's like once every few months I'll get something from someone, which I like. Yeah. It frees up a lot more money for other things. Like the Living Dead dolls, again, it's once a quarter. So I've gone down that route now. Best. I mean, I was looking at because normally I do my top 10 action figures of the year, and obviously this year I've had to change it to top 10 toys of the year because I have not really bought many figures this year.
No, the one figure set that I'm actually really looking forward to is the Store Horseman Skeleton 4-pack.
Yeah,
that's my most anticipated kind of bunch of figures, if you like, and they're just so different. So different. I'm just having a look. Shelley did say, now you just collect toilets. I can't believe you actually picked that up. I really can't.
It was them lot in the comments that made me. I wasn't going to. It was Shelley and that were basically going, why didn't you review the toilet? And then I said in my video, I said, if enough people comment about the toilet, I'll buy it. And a load of people commented then. So obviously I had to buy the toilet.
Wow. Cool. That is all we've got time for this week, though. But keep your eye on our social media pages, because we're going to be putting out the next couple of shows in advance, so you know kind of what's coming. We've got a couple of really good things coming up before the end of the year. So we've only got 7 7 shows.
So there's 7 shows before Christmas, 8 shows before the end of the year, but we've got 7 shows to Christmas, mate.
That's scary. That is scary. Of course, though, we'll be doing all of our usual kind of end of year, like year in review kind of shows. We'll be doing our Christmas shows and that kind of stuff. But yeah, keep an eye because we are going to post those in advance, and we're going to try to stay on top of that and do it ahead of time. With me moving house, it just everything kind of fell apart because it was very one-sided, our conversations. So I do apologize. Every time Sorrell was like, "You're right," I'm like, "Yep, I'm still moving." Yep, still packing boxes. So, but now that's all done. So we're on the road to 25, aren't we?
We are. I'm excited because we've obviously got our usual Christmas special coming up. I've been in chat with our good friend Ryan after the success of our Halloween special, and he came on and gave us a little quiz. I've asked him if he'll return and do that again for Christmas. So I think it's going to be me and Jacob going head to head over Christmas geeky questions with Ryan on the 22nd. That should be a nice Christmas special. Obviously, then on the 29th, we'll be doing our year in review special that we always do, where we talk about our favorite things of the year. Coming up, though, we have got the Black Friday special on the 24th. We'll be talking all the ways you can save money and all the sales and good stuff that's going on in the world of toy collecting. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're hoping to have a few guests as well before the end of the year. So some good shows coming up.
Awesome. Thank you everyone that's been joining in, commenting along. It's been a good one. We will, of course, be back this time next week on Sunday. If you are watching us on Catch Up, though, forgot to say at the beginning, but what is it they need to put in the chat? Mr. Sorrell.
# Catch Up Brew.
There we go. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you next week. Keep your eye on the social medias for what that show is going to be. Until then, keep it geek.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Like, share, subscribe, don't miss out.